After the maid was fired, her toddler made one phone call. The billionaire fired everyone. Emma Carter had worked at the Ashford estate for nearly 4 years. Every morning before sunrise, she quietly unlocked the service entrance, tied her brown hair into a neat bun, and started another long day of cleaning. At just 28 years old, Emma wasn't ashamed of being a maid. She was proud that her hard work kept a roof over her 2-year-old son Noah's head. After losing her husband in a car accident, life had become a constant struggle. Bills piled up, rent was always late, yet Emma never complained. Everyone in the mansion knew she was the first to arrive and the last to leave. Everyone, except the estate manager, Victoria Lang. Victoria believed kindness was weakness. She constantly criticized the staff, looking for excuses to fire people. One Monday morning, Emma arrived carrying Noah because the daycare had unexpectedly closed. "I'm so sorry," Emma whispered to the kitchen staff. "I couldn't find anyone to watch him. He'll stay in the break room. He won't bother anyone." The cook smiled. "No problem." Little Noah quietly colored in a small notebook while Emma cleaned upstairs. Everything seemed fine, until Victoria walked in. "What is that child doing here?" she shouted. Emma rushed downstairs. "I'm sorry, ma'am. Daycare closed unexpectedly. I'll finish early." Victoria crossed her arms. "This is a luxury estate, not a daycare. I'm begging you." "No." Victoria grabbed Emma's cleaning badge. "You're fired, right now." Every employee froze. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Please, I need this job." "You should have thought about that before bringing a child here." Emma slowly removed her apron. She picked up Noah. The little boy looked at his mother. "Mommy, why are you crying?" Emma forced a smile. "It's okay, sweetheart." But it wasn't. As they reached the front gate, Noah remembered something. Several months earlier, the owner of the estate had visited unexpectedly. The billionaire Mr. Jonathan Ashford had seen Noah waiting after Emma finished work. The little boy had offered him half of his cookie. Jonathan had laughed. "That's very generous." Before leaving, he had handed Noah a small business card. "If anyone ever makes your mommy cry, call me." Everyone thought he was joking, except Noah. As Emma searched her purse for bus fare, Noah quietly found the old card. He borrowed the security guard's phone. "I need to call Mr. Jonathan." The guard smiled. "You know him." He said I could. Curious, the guard dialed the number. A calm voice answered. "This is Jonathan." Noah spoke softly. "Hi, I'm Noah." There was a brief silence. Then Jonathan replied warmly. "Noah, how's your mom?" "They fired her." Another pause. "Who fired her?" "The mean lady." Jonathan's voice changed instantly. "Stay exactly where you are." Less than 40 minutes later, the sound of helicopter blades echoed across the estate. Employees rushed outside. A black helicopter landed on the private lawn. Jonathan Ashford stepped out wearing a simple navy suit. No security speeches, no greetings. He walked directly toward Emma. "Are you all right?" Emma looked shocked. "You remember us?" He smiled. "Of course I do." He looked down at Noah. "You still sharing cookies?" Noah nodded. Jonathan laughed before turning toward the mansion. "Call every department head." Within minutes, everyone gathered in the grand hall. Victoria stood confidently. "Sir, I handled a personnel issue." Jonathan stared at her. "You fired Emma?" "Yes." "Why?" "She violated company policy." Jonathan looked around. "Did anyone here see Emma neglect her duties?" Silence. One cook raised her hand. "No, sir." Another employee spoke. "She always works harder than anyone." Jonathan nodded. "Then why was she fired?" Nobody answered. Finally, an elderly gardener stepped forward. "Because she brought her son when daycare closed." Jonathan slowly turned back to Victoria. "You fired a widowed mother because she refused to leave her toddler alone?" Victoria tried defending herself. "Rules are rules." Jonathan calmly removed a folder from his briefcase. "Actually," he placed several documents on the table. "I wrote those rules." Victoria frowned. "There is a family emergency clause." The room became silent. Jonathan continued. "It clearly states employees facing temporary childcare emergencies may request accommodations." Victoria's face turned pale. "I didn't notice." "No," Jonathan corrected. "You ignored it." Then Jonathan asked the staff one question. How many people here have been threatened by Victoria? Nearly every hand slowly rose. Jonathan looked around. I see. He faced human resources. Effective immediately. Victoria Lang is terminated. Gasps filled the room. He wasn't finished. Every supervisor who knowingly ignored employee abuse is dismissed as well. Several managers turned white. Jonathan continued. I built this company on respect. If my employees are afraid to come to work, then leadership has failed. Security escorted Victoria away. She shouted, You can't do this. Jonathan answered calmly. I just did. Then he turned toward Emma. I owe you an apology. Emma wiped away tears. You don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. I trusted the wrong people. He smiled gently. If you're willing, I'd like you to stay. Emma hesitated. I don't know. Jonathan knelt beside Noah. What do you think? Noah smiled. Mommy likes cleaning. Everyone laughed. Jonathan stood. You won't be returning as a maid. Emma looked confused. What? I need someone who understands people. I've been searching for a staff welfare coordinator. You've spent years helping everyone here. The cooks told me you buy groceries for employees who struggle. The gardener said you drive him home after work. The laundry team says you stay late to help without being asked. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about character. Emma couldn't believe it. You want me? Jonathan nodded. Higher salary, health insurance, flexible childcare, and paid education if you wish to continue your studies. Emma burst into tears. I don't know what to say. Jonathan smiled. Just say yes. She nodded. Yes. The staff applauded loudly. 6 months later, the estate felt completely different. Employee turnover dropped dramatically. Staff satisfaction reached record levels. New parents had childcare support. Emergency family leave became standard. Emma created anonymous suggestion boxes so every worker had a voice. Noah often visited after preschool. He became everyone's favorite little helper. One afternoon, Jonathan found Noah handing cookies to a new employee. Why are you sharing? Noah smiled exactly as he had months earlier, because people are happier when they don't feel alone. Jonathan looked at Emma. You've raised an incredible little boy. Emma smiled. He reminds me every day that kindness is stronger than power. Jonathan nodded. And today, Waze. So did his phone call. Sometimes the smallest voices create the biggest changes. One frightened toddler made a single phone call, not because he understood business, but because he loved his mother. That simple act of love exposed injustice, transformed an entire workplace, and reminded everyone that true leadership is measured not by wealth or authority, but by compassion. Because in the end, kindness always leaves the greatest legacy.